Agatha Harkness is an incredibly powerful and ancient witch. She made her debut in Fantastic Four number 94 in October 1969. With evidence suggesting Agatha was present 5 centuries before the fall of Atlantis 20,000 years ago, it's difficult to pinpoint Agatha's exact age. It's also incredibly difficult to know everything she's done and everywhere she's been. However, we do know by the late 17th century she had settled down in Salem, Massachusetts. It was in Salem she formed her own coven of witches, as she believed the New World would be the place they could finally practice their witchcraft openly and freely without persecution. However, this belief didn't create truth, and in fact, Salem would become infamous for its persecution of witches and witchcraft. Despite the horrors being faced by her people, Agatha wasn't completely sad. In fact, she partially agreed with the witch trials, as she believed a war was coming with humanity, and that these trials would get rid of the weak and all of the strong would survive and thrive to prepare themselves for the upcoming war. Fortunately, a time-stranded mutant known as Firestar was able to convince Agatha war wasn't the way forward, and as a result, Agatha uprooted her coven and moved to Colorado, creating the settlement of New Salem. It was in New Salem that Agatha would marry and give birth to her son Nicholas Scratch. She kept a low profile for a long time, following what had happened in Salem. Eventually, in a more modern era, she became a governess, where she taught children in need until her eventual retirement. This was, of course, until one job was offered to her she couldn't refuse: the nanny for Franklin Richards, the newborn child of Sue Storm and Reed Richards of the Fantastic Four. She served loyally as the nanny and often protector of Franklin, and was even the first to notice Franklin's incredibly strong reality warping abilities. Her protection didn't end at Franklin, however, as she on occasion has saved every member of the Four. When the Four teamed up with the Avengers to battle Ultron, Agatha sensed the Scarlet Witch's power for the first time. She handed in her notice with the Fantastic Four, informing them there was nothing more she could do for Franklin, and decided to turn her attention to Wanda in an effort to help her control her powers and be more effective with them. She would go on to train Wanda until she married the Vision. As this was happening, Agatha's son had taken over New Salem, and he had had 7 children, the Salem Seven. The 7 were defeated by Wanda. The power Wanda absorbed by defeating the 7 was what enabled Wanda and Vision to have children. When the children were stolen by Mephisto, and Agatha tried to wipe Wanda's memory of this, Wanda had a breakdown and tragically killed Agatha. It was only when Wanda was investigating a magical illness on the Witch's Road she saw Agatha again in ghost form, the results of which returned Agatha to the realm of the living,